So you're looking for a business support system, for example, for your mobile services, but you don't even have developers to run a quick proof of concept to validate your business ideas? You're not alone. But what if I told you there is a way to build an integration with the BSS without breaking the bank? Stick around and I'll show you how I utilize the power of AI to turn this daunting task into a quick and easy process. This could be a game changer for your operations. Hey there, welcome back to PortaOne's channel. Today I'm gonna show you how I transformed the challenge of integrating a business support system into a seamless and accessible process. Imagine this, you have big ideas for your mobile services and you've chosen PortaBilling to be your business support system. However, it may take a while before you validate how your vision aligns with the capabilities of the new system. Then, if you don't have a development team, for example, to test how your USSD services will work with PortaBilling, this may delay the whole project. Throughout the video, I'll demonstrate how I use ChatGPT to help me integrate the BSS with the USSD service without development skills. So let's bridge the gap between your vision and the practical implementation of integrations important for an MVNO, MVNE, and MNO alike. Before we start, let's explain a little bit about USSD and BSS. Unstructured Supplementary Service Data, or USSD, is a communication technology that might be used more often than you realize. It's essentially a protocol used by mobile phones to communicate with the service provider's equipment. Imagine it like a chat system between a phone and the service provider. It allows a mobile phone to send specific commands to the service provider and receive responses in real time. For instance, when a user checks their mobile balance or data usage, they usually dial a code that starts with an asterisk and ends with a hash. This code is a USSD code. When a user hits the call button, their phone sends this code as a message to the service provider. The service provider's equipment understands this code, processes the request, and sends back the information the user asked for, which is then displayed on the phone screen. The beauty of USSD is that it doesn't require internet access, and it works on all kinds of mobile phones, not just smartphones. Business Support System, or BSS, might sound technical, but it's essentially the tool that telecom companies use to run their business. Imagine people are using their mobile phones to make calls, send a text, or use data. Well, the BSS is the system that keeps track of what services they're using, how much they're using, and then generates the bill at the end of the month. If you've ever logged into your mobile provider's website to check your current bill, upgrade your phone, or change your service plan, you've interacted with the BSS. It is crucial for telecom providers to manage their operations and provide services to millions of customers. Now, it is clear that a USSD gateway that the service provider has must receive requests from mobile subscribers and communicate with the business support system, for example, to get their current balance. This means that a service provider must deal with two different systems, each with its own protocols and standards. Bridging these two systems requires a thorough understanding of both and the creation of a robust interface that can accurately translate requests and responses between the two. This can be a complex task that requires significant technical expertise. The real magic behind this rapid development is the Application Programmable Interface, or API. So if you are not a developer but you need a quick proof of concept, you can use ChatGPT and ask it to help you. Using ChatGPT, I was able to build this integration myself by adjusting the code in iterations and getting feedback from the model. Let's actually see it in action. For this demo, I'll be using ChatGPT 3.5, Visual Studio Code, and my browser. Since I don't really have any real USSD gateway, I will ask ChatGPT to create a JavaScript application with a graphical user interface that will simulate the interaction between a user's device and PortaBilling functioning as the BSS to collect a user's input, send API requests to PortaBilling, and display the needed information. Your application in production will of course have to translate real USSD requests to API calls. So let's enter the prompt and wait for the results. I want to keep the code of the user interface and the business logic in separate files for simplicity. This way, I'll be able to easily adjust the look and feel of the application without impacting the USSD logic. Hence, I created a folder and several files in it: index.html, script.js, and styles.css. I'll demonstrate two use cases: balance query and top up with a voucher. In the first use case, the user enters *111 hash to query their balance. The app sends a request to PortaBilling, gets account information, and displays the balance to the user. Looking through PortaBilling documentation, we find the needed API call, get account info. Let's instruct ChatGPT to call it when a user enters *111#. My advice is to give ChatGPT very detailed instructions and examples. I also set expectations as to the responses, so that the application can handle the returned data or errors. I simply copy the code that ChatGPT generates to Visual Studio. Make sure you don't disclose sensitive data like API tokens to ChatGPT. The truth is that you need to try the code it generates, provide the feedback, and try it again. So I keep copying and pasting it over and over again. After a few iterations, I was able to start my application and open it in the browser. I actually have a SIM card in PortaBilling, so we can check its balance. So let's use my mobile number for the USSD request. Voila! The user interface resembles a device with a display and a keypad. Let's imagine our phone can send a USSD code *111# to the USSD gateway, which will check my balance with PortaBilling in real time. Great, it works. Now let's instruct ChatGPT to add a top-up function. We need to explain that the application should match a new code, which is *123*, followed by the voucher pin and a hash at the end. PortaBilling documentation helps me find the needed API call, which is top-up account. ChatGPT will adjust the existing code so that you can copy and paste it to your Visual Studio. In the second use case, the user enters *123* voucher pin hash to top up their account with a voucher. Now let's run the application adjusted to support this new functionality. Thanks ChatGPT, it works! Okay, I'll use the same mobile number to simulate a USSD request starting with *123*. Let's activate a voucher in PortaBilling and try using its PIN. When I enter the voucher PIN, the app sends a request to the BSS to top up my account and then displays the updated balance to the user. That's simple. As you see, with the open architecture of PortaBilling, you can create a fully functional prototype of a self-service even without development skills. If you have other use cases that you would like to validate using PortaBilling, please leave a comment below the video. Thanks for watching.